Good afternoon, everyone. I am in sunny Florida, and let me just reclaim the host. I am so excited you're here. Thank you for joining us. I know my team was on to let you all in. I am super excited. We're talking about Goldmine Pipeline today. Might be the biggest change in your life to radically take your business to the next level from literally triple, double to triple in no time. So if you've never done Goldmine Pipeline, I encourage you to, you can't hear me still or no? Can't hear Sherri? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear?
I can still hear you.
I can hear you too.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Amy's good now, maybe not. If you have your volume on mute or volume not on, you're not going to hear me. You might be able to talk, but I'm not sure I'm hearing anybody because you're all muted. But here's what I know. If you've done Goldmine Pipeline in the past, great. If this is your first introduction to it, welcome. I'm Sherri Johnson, and I'm excited that you're here. And I want to know that go ahead in the chat and let me know if this is your first time you're seeing Goldmine Pipeline, or if you've been here before, or you're a fan, or you've been here before, and you've done the Goldmine Pipeline once, you're redoing it, you're relaunching it. No matter where you are in the process, we're going to take that to the next level today to get you to another Goldmine Pipeline that sticks forever, okay? Because here's the deal. This is not a one and done. You don't take the Goldmine Pipeline class and then check the box that you've done it. You actually do it and then do it every single week. And you get obsessed with the Goldmine Pipeline until you have filled it and get appointments. And everybody that goes on the Goldmine Pipeline is actually going to become a listing or a sale. So you got a lot of first-time people on here. That's awesome. That helps me sort of know. I see Kathy Thompson says, love it, relaunching. Second time for Alex. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so here's what I'm going to tell you. You have to just fill the pipeline. This is not hard, okay? This is about filling the pipeline and having a continuous flow of people. What I'm going to teach you has helped agents double and triple in 1 year. This is not hard. The hardest part is getting you to realize you don't have enough people in the pipeline, okay? That's probably the biggest issue. You don't have enough buyer and seller leads to sell 36 or 42 or 52 houses a year. That's the problem. So it's not about, it's not about I can't sell more than 12 houses a year. Okay. Yes, I have to make you that. I'm so sorry. I'm wondering why people are in there, and let me just do a little. So here's the thing. If you have 10, this would have been great to hear, but it's not working. So Amy, go into your volume settings on your laptop and just see if it's turned off. Like the volume could be like no volume, or it's on low. Okay. And do that, try that. And then what I'm going to do is, there you go, Liz, you're all set. And I want to reinforce again, we're going to put the Goldmine Pipeline fillable document into the chat so you can just get it right here out of this, while I'm talking. Yeah, I would do that. Mary's right. Let's log out. Amy, I think she's already done that though. I've seen her come in twice. So try that. Also try, maybe it's going to your headphones. That could be an issue. My team will help you in the chat to try to get you back online for sound. Here's what I know. Liz is going to put the document, Goldmine Pipeline fillable form, into the chat. You can actually look at it while I'm talking. And I even, I don't want you to start, surely if you are thinking, oh, I have people I'm thinking of already, buyer leads, listing leads, put them in and start writing them down. You can write them down on a piece of paper right now. Okay. How many buyer leads do you have? How many listing leads? This is not about, a scarcity mindset at all. It's actually going to, in my hope, right, is to expand your thinking, to think, not only think big, but think, you know, do you have in the next 2 months to 2 years, do you have 10 people that would move, that would sell? I'm sure you do. You are in real estate. You're in a real estate sales position. They don't have to be people who are moving in the next 2 months. It's a lot easier to think of those people when I say 2 months to 2 years than to try to come up with 10 people who want to move in the next 2 months, right? So if you're at this, I'm doing 10 units a year and you want to scale and do 50, this is going to do it. This is literally the engine and the strategy that you need for both what I call predictable and consistent monthly income. Two things that do not exist in the real estate world, right? Because we know that you're inconsistent. You have a roller coaster ride. You sell a house, you don't sell a house. And by the way, most of my coaching is a lot better if you are video on. Liz, can you mute everybody? So if you are video on and engaging with me and taking notes and making an action list, if you can turn your video on, you will have a better coaching experience. The experience you have will be better if you are video on. So thank you. I just saw a bunch of people turn their videos on. And again, no one is looking at what you look like or where you're at. Hopefully you're not driving a car. I want you to be listening. I want you to be totally engaged in this free coaching session so that you can get the max out of it and really change the trajectory of your business quickly. And that's exactly what we're about to do here, is put some things into place. It's not rocket science. It's actually a really easy and great strategy that will help you take it to the next level. Okay. I have been a licensed real estate broker for 29 years. I can't believe I'm saying that. I got licensed in 96. Next year will be 30 years. I don't even know how that's possible, but it is. And I sold just like you. I was active in sales for 10 straight years. My first year in the business, I had 27 sales. I worked like a maniac. I had 5 sales my first month. And I remember my dad saying to me, you might not sell a house for 6 months. You might want to get another job. I was 26 years old. I had a condo payment, a car payment, and a really high shopping habit, right? I was like a 26-year-old single person, and I'm still probably have a high shopping habit, let's face it. But I have kids now that are 20 and 17. Your life is being funded by real estate, I hope, right? I mean, why are you doing this, right? Knowing why you're doing it is going to help you to drive your why to get results. Okay. I can't motivate a satisfied person. But if you have the grit, you have the grind, you have the why, and you put this into practice, I've taken people from 3 million to 10 million in 1 year by doing this system, period. Okay. There's nothing like it on the planet. It is exclusive. Other people might use the term pipeline. That's not a new term. The way I have you do it, though, is pretty cool, and I think you're going to love it. After 10 years of sales and selling 50 houses a year without a team, I was in the top 25 of the company that I worked out of in Cleveland. After 10 years of doing that, I went into sales management on purpose because I wanted to have a national speaking, coaching, consulting company one day, which after being in executive management and running a region of 800 agents, 14 offices, about taking it from 600 million to $2 billion in annual sales, I left 8 years ago and started Sherri Johnson Coaching and Consulting and Speaking. And so I've been a national coach for some of the top 3 real estate brands for the last 8 years. And I have taught this system to thousands of people and hundreds of managers who have used it effectively, right, to coach agents. So I see a bunch of managers on here right now, that makes me feel really happy. I'm excited, and I think you're gonna also, whether you're a manager you're a team leader, or you are an agent, you're going to crush it. Okay. So this again is about having enough people on the pipeline to sell 36 or 52 houses, or, take it to 75 or take it to 100 units a year. You can do whatever you want. You just have to be the first person to believe it. Coaching people, it's not making them great. Like, I don't just make people great. I bring out the greatness you already have, and it's in every single one of you. I know it. You're on this call for a reason. You found Sherri Johnson Coaching for a reason, and we're going to jump in. So I'm telling you right now, whether you are at, what's great about Goldmine Pipeline, by the way, is whether you are at a certain level of experience, brand new, or licensed 40 years or 15 or 20, doesn't matter your experience level. It doesn't matter your current production level. Goldmine Pipeline will literally change your life. Okay. It works for everybody. This is not just for brand new people. It's not just for people already doing 20 million. It's for everybody. We use it with teams to take them from 140 million to 200 million. Okay. So it's for everybody. And it is where you're going to take it where you are. Like, you're actually going to implement it. We meet you where you are at your level. It doesn't matter. Again, brand new agent, two weeks in the business, or 25, 30, 40 years in the business. It will work for you. You can connect with me, download my digital business card, is that QR code you see right there. I'll show this again in a few minutes, at the end. I really want you to embrace this concept, because you don't have to buy anything. You're just going to take my strategy and implement it. When I had those 5 sales, okay, and again, I ran to my dad and I was like, hey, look, I just had 5 sales in 1 month, right? I don't know whether he did it to light a fire or what, but I was not asking the man for money. He's in the other room. He can't hear me, but like, I was not asking him for money. I was 26. I'm 55 now. And I was like, I'm not asking my parents for money. Do or die. Like, I have to do this or I will not be doing this business. And fear of failure is what probably drove me the most, as well as hunger. So write down the word hunger. If you have hunger and you have dreams, I can help you get there very quickly, starting with having the right mindset. So if you took down, if you scan this, save my contact info, and I'll show you that in a little bit. At the end of this call, I'm going to offer you a 20-minute free strategy call with me, 20-minute coaching call to talk about your pipeline, to talk about our coaching, to talk about anything you're having a problem with, whatever you want. Okay. It can be 100% 20 minutes on just coaching. You don't even have to be interested in any of our products or any of our services. You can scan this, you can book, you can get on my calendar right now if you want to wait and hear what I have to say. I get it. My calendar fills up pretty quickly. I'll show this again at the end. Here's what I know, right? So this gal went from 3 to 9 million with coaching. I just had lunch with her the other day. She is doing about 20 million now. Liz, we probably need to update this. She's over 18, 20 million. She sells about 85 to 100 houses a year as a single solo agent. 1 staff helping her. What can you do, right? In her 5th year, she's been in coaching with us since her 2nd year. What could you do if you use this system? And I'm telling you, it works. It really does. We have a course called How to Make 50 Grand at Your Next Open House. And part of that strategy, by the way, when I did those 5 sales in 1 month, one of them came from someone in my sphere of influence. Okay. Tim Kren, known him since 2nd grade. Thank you, Timmy, for buying a condo for me in my 1st month. That was helpful. The other 4 sales, you guys, came from 1 house. I listed a house that I got on Opportunity Time. I answered the phone. Still works today, by the way. I listed that house. I sold it myself at the open house. 2 sales. The people who bought the house had a house to sell. I listed it and sold it in 2 weeks. And I picked up a buyer and sold him something in the same month. Okay. Figure that one out. 4 sales, 1 house in 1 month. So very quickly in my 1st month, I said, this is how you do real estate. You list 1 house and you sell multiple houses off of it. Okay. And so I created a whole program on how to leverage one house into multiple sales, 3 to 5 more sales. Bingo. This gal, Dawn Hinton, one of our fabulous coaches and clients, she implemented the make 50 grand at your next open house strategy that I have. She made 100 grand, one house. Okay. When you say 100 grand at one house, what I mean is she put $100,000 of potential business from that open house onto the goldmine pipeline. Does that make sense? And so everybody goes down the pipeline. And when you do this system, you will always have business every single month. Okay. Instead of this roller coaster ride that you might be on right now. Sell a house, don't sell a house. This unpredictable start over. See, what you normally do, I think what all of you do is you go from deal to deal, right? So you close that deal, you spend 3 weeks closing it, you come up for air, delivered the keys, you got paid, and now you're like, oh, I don't have anybody. I got to go find some people. And then you start over. And I see some of you nodding your head at me. I get it. And that is crisis selling. That is awful. It sucks. People don't sell enough houses. You have goals. You have so much more potential. And you're doing this roller coaster ride. So we're going to get rid of the roller coaster ride. She created $100,000 from one open house by doing the strategy the way I taught it, the way I teach it. And you can download my podcast. As a matter of fact, the sample is 300 and some. This is like a retired podcast, but it's still really good. And I think if you download this podcast, I've had people tell me that they've sold 5 houses from listening to my podcast. It's amazing. Makes me feel amazing. I am excited because I want you to get results. I'm not about platitudes. I don't like platitudes. Actually, I hate them. It's all a bunch of fluff to me. I want results. I want you to have the results. You will get the results, okay, if you implement these things. This podcast happens to be on how to make 50K at your next open house. Some people make more than 50,000. If the house is $1 million, you could actually make $150,000, depending on your average sale price. This basically is at a $300,000 national average. It's also from my personal experience. I would go pick up 5 people. They all had a house to sell, be 10 transactions at $5,000 a piece. There's 50 grand, right? So you can download the podcast from my digital card, or you can go to my website and get it, or you can get it on any podcast platform. It's on all of them. I am launching a new podcast in May. I think it's May, called the Sherri Johnson Podcast. And that will be coming soon. And since you're in our mailing list, as soon as it publishes, you'll know when every new episode drops. There'll be some great content for you as well as interviews that I do with people. All right. So the Sherri Johnson Academy just popped up. This is the platform. I'll give you an opportunity to check that out at the end here. This is where all of the 65 agent courses are, another 30 to 40 courses for managers, teams. This is where the short content of videos that I made will help you. And again, all the downloadable scripts and content exists. So when you think about real estate and how you manage your day, I just had a brand new agent this morning who joined my company say, you know, do I have a structured hourly, structured hours? So actually you don't, but you need to, right? And he's like, if I can, he was told I sell at least one house a month. And he's like, Sherri, there's 7 days in a week. Sell more than one house a month. And I said, I love this. His name's Calvin. I said, well, good, because here's the deal. Okay. You have to have some discipline, and you can't just work in the business, which means you're only showing how, you got to do the in the business stuff in order to make money, but you have to work on the business and do lead generation and create appointments for yourself every week. Otherwise, it will be 0 sales. So you have to have some goals. You have to focus on appointments. If you don't have any appointments this week, you're not selling anything. Sorry, I'm going to be like authentically unapologetic about the reality, right? If you don't have appointments, doesn't matter what's going on, nothing is happening. You'll have a 0 for the month. Okay. Accountability. Why does that work? Well, when you track and measure something, it improves. We know this. It's statistically proven. Manufacturing companies track and measure for less waste and more efficiency. When you track and measure anything, it improves. When I run, I look at my watch and I said, I run that, uphill mile or 2 miles uphill faster than I did last week. Yes. Okay, great. What we obsess on and track improves. When you give that to another human being in the form of accountability of some sort, it will exponentially improve, meaning you will get better, faster results. That's why people have coaches. That's why people have, obviously sports coaches, financial coaches, professional life coaches, all of it. Okay. Tracking it and measuring it is one thing. But if I'm sitting in bed at 6:05 and I'm like, I don't need to run today. I ran 5 miles yesterday. Right. I will grade my own papers. I will give myself an A every time. Okay. Because that's just what we do. Right. And to relate that to real estate sales, here's what you tell yourself. I don't need to prospect this week. I have 5 under contracts right now. That's great. I'm happy for you. But where are the next 5 coming from? You don't know. Right. That's the problem. So I don't want you to grade your own papers in real estate, because here's what agents say to me. I have 10 contracts right now. And I'm like, that's great. Do you know where the next 10 are coming from? And they look at me and say, their face gets scary, right? And I said, do you have a full pipeline? What are you talking about? So we want you to have potential business on the pipeline every month, so that every month people fall into A status. That's how this works. Okay. But again, the greatest thing about real estate is that it is flexible. The worst thing about real estate, you guys, is that it is flexible. Okay. Does that make sense? It's like you can go to the gym at 10 a.m. I don't get a structure, time block your days, put down the times when you're going to just focus on booking appointments. If you do that alone, the rest will take care of itself. It's really that simple. Yet we overcomplicate things, or we just say, I hope I hope I do what I did last year. I hope I make X. Well, hope is not bad. I love hope. I have a lot of hope for my 17-year-old son and my 20-year-old daughter, and hope for the world, and hope for a lot of things. But hope is not action oriented. It's not going to put deals on the board. It's not going to put income into your bank account. It's not happening. So we have to be disciplined. We have to be structured. We have to say, did I make any money today? Don't know why I look at my watch when I say that, but I do. Did I make any money today? And is your future self going to thank you that you have 6 appointments booked for next week already? How would you feel if you had 6 appointments booked for next week? Today's Thursday, right? How are we going to feel when we have 6 appointments for next week? 3 listing appointments and 3 buyer consults. That's a good week, isn't it? I want that part of your program. You need to say, I am doing this. Like this is not if, it's not maybe, it's literally with intention. So, purpose is a great alarm clock, isn't it? That wake us up, get us going, boom, done. Go get it. It's yours. But we, roll out of bed, look at our phones for an hour, go on social media. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying, do you have a plan when you go to bed that tomorrow this is what I'm doing and it's happening? Going to the office because I have an appointment with this thing right here. This is a money maker. Okay. Makes you money. It also makes outgoing calls. It's fabulous. Makes texts. You can communicate with this thing. You can record video. It's your money maker. But you have to have a plan. You have to build a pipeline or nothing's going to happen. Okay. I want you to look at right now the power of one listing. I just gave you a great example of how I sold 4 houses from one listing in January. It was 1997, you guys. Got licensed in November. My first listing sells on New Year's Day. True story. I sold it on New Year's Day. I was like, who's looking at houses on New Year's Day? I was showing a house on New Year's Day. Don't ever think that people are not going to do something on a holiday. So I'm telling you, they didn't care. They brought 12 people to the house to see it on New Year's Day. Okay. And I was like in actually bad shape. Like, you can imagine, right? I was still drinking then. I was crazy. I've been sober like 27 years. But think about this. 4 houses from one listing. So if you have a listing right now, are you leveraging that for potential sales? Or are you just putting the sign in it and going on to the next deal? Most of you have been taught, unfortunately, this is a transactional business. It's not. You can leverage every opportunity. You can leverage relationships. You can leverage the client. I mean, you can actually leverage the client rather to build more relationships for you. Yet we don't do that. We just boom, next deal, please. And I want you to stop doing that. Okay. I want you to have a better strategy. You're going to love me for this. And when you look at the power of the listing side more than the working with buyers, they're also going to thank me because the listing side is more control. You can list 10 houses and 9 of them are going to sell. Would you agree? So think about if you go list 10 houses, if your goal right now is to get your next 10 listings, what does that look like? Kind of exciting, isn't it? I don't care if you're brand new. You should have a listing or a sale in the first 30 days. I am not an anomaly. Okay. I might have some like crazy whatever, but I'm no different than all of like you can sell 5 houses in a month. You can sell 4 houses. You can list 5 houses in a month. Write it down, make it happen. Okay. The list side gives you publicity. It gives you a sign like a billboard. Think about that, right? In every neighborhood, I would farm those neighborhoods, and we call it micro farming in my world. I just called it micro farming because you go really deep, not just sending out cards to a neighborhood, but really deep into knowing these people and getting to know the neighbors because they are going to be future sales. And everywhere I went, people are like, you sell everything in here. And I was like, no, I just sent 4 postcards about one house, right? And so everybody was like, you sell every house in here. And I'm like, no, I don't. But the perception was they got a card from me. It might have gone straight to the garbage can, but guess what they were saying? Sherri Johnson, real estate, Sherri Johnson. Oh, we're going to keep it this time because, Aunt Susan needs to sell our house or we're going to sell our house. No such thing as a bad listing, meaning I don't care what it looks like. Some my colleagues in my office were like, I can't believe you took that listing on Tom Center Road. I said, really? Hundreds of thousands of people see my sign a day. I'm taking that $200,000 2-bedroom farmhouse. Heck yeah, I sold it myself from an open house. Okay. So unless somebody's asking you to commit fraud, I don't care if the listing is $30,000 overpriced and it's listed in the 5s. Like, okay, it's a couple percentage points. Let's not get hung up on, I got to be right. You know how many times I was right about the pricing, but I didn't get hired, lost the listing, and it sold in 2 weeks, and it sold for the same price I said it would sell? And it occurred to me in my self-righteous moment where I was like, let's see how long this is on the market. They bought the listing. They went overpriced. Guess what? They were getting paid. I might have been right, but I wasn't getting paid. And so that was a really bad strategy in 1998. I said, I'm never doing that again. I'm going to talk to the seller, have a better conversation about pricing, a better conversation about a price reduction after X amount of days. Okay. I'm not going to tell you to go list overpriced homes, nor would I tell you to overprice them to get the listing. That's unethical and it's not right. But stop arguing with the seller over 10 grand. Get the listing, like get it for longer. Have a better strategy for if it doesn't sell in 30 days, we're going to do this. Because that sign is powerful and you can't get that kind of advertising, right? That yard sign that says Thomas Baker in it, okay, has your name on it for the world to see, whether it's on a main road or it's in a subdivision, okay? Power of one listing. They snowball into more sales. We have lost that somehow. I don't know why. I took off with it. I ran with it. It is literally at the underlying basis of every strategy that we do here. Make 50 grand at your next open house. Obviously, using one house to leverage that into more sales. Of course, I want buyers to see the house. 1% buy from an open house. Okay, you're there to expose the property for the seller. You're also there to pick up the spinoff business. But you're not going to get a, The power of the Make 50 Grand at your next open house, by the way, you guys, is about sitting in a house that is a move up house for someone who has a house to sell, because I want you to get that listing. You're there to pick up listings, not just buyers. Most people look at the open house, oh, I pick up buyers. I want you to pick up listings and buyers. Like, they come with two, right? They're going to buy and sell. It's a two deal for every one person, right? For every client, it's two deals. Power of one listing. Remember that, okay? How do we maximize every sale? How do we sell 3 to 5 homes from every listing? That is a definite strategy that I want you to walk out of here with, because otherwise you're just going to do a one deal here, it's going to be a roller coaster ride. Okay. Now I want you to go in the chat and tell me if you have a listing appointment in the next 7 days. If you have a listing appointment, go into the chat, please, and let me know. And actually, let me open up my chat. Okay. There's the Goldmine pipeline fillable, by the way, that's in there. So you can download that. Who has a listing and what, and I say no one yet. So who has a listing? Put it in the chat. I do. If you have a listing, some of you might have 2 appointments. That's awesome. And here's what I'm gonna tell you. Now let me ask it this way. How many of you have a listing appointment in the next 7 to 10 days? You just don't know the address yet. Okay, that would be every one of you, right? Yes, thank you. Me too, all of us. Put it in there. You got to say, I am getting a listing. I just don't know the address yet. In fact, I want you to say, I'm going to have a listing or a sale. I just don't know the address yet. I'm going to list or sell a house this week. I just don't know the address yet. Like, you don't know the address because guess what? When you wrote down your list, thank you, Amanda. When you wrote down your list of selling 52 houses this year, or 36 houses, or whatever number it is, did you know the addresses? No, because you just said, I wanted to sell X number of units. Okay. I want them to all be over 500,000. And guess what? They can be. Yes, Stacy, you know this. I'm getting a recruit. I just don't know their name. Yes, yes, yes. I love that one. Here's what I know. Manifestation works. What you think, you believe, you process, that's what you tell yourself, and that's what's going to happen. If you walk up to an open house, you're like, oh, this is stupid. Why am I doing an open house right now? You're not going to get anything from that thing. Okay? It's not going to happen. What you think becomes, okay? Knowing your why. I'm not going to go into all of that right now. I'm going to go straight over to talking about mindset and getting into the gold mine pipeline. Now, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I've never liked that phrase. I'm going to repeat that. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And the reason you're right is that I can't tell you, I can't change that mindset. You have to change it for yourself, right? So if you want to think it into existence, whatever it is, 10 million in volume, right? I want to be a $10 million producer. That's it. I was like, I'm not stopping until I get to 10. For me, thankfully, it happened pretty quickly, right? I had 3.7 million sales my first year. I believe 14 the next. No. 10 the next. I'm sorry, 7 the next. I went to 7, then I went to 14. What are you going to do? Okay. It's all about what you believe you are capable of doing. If you have a scarcity mindset, nothing is going to happen. If you sit there and say, oh, this business is awful and so gets all the listings and I don't get that business. I can't change that for you. What I can tell you is that if you look at it as it's out there for you, it's out there for every one of us, it's available, then you will go out and do it. Okay. And sometimes, and I'm going to just keep these going, sales may not be down. They are, they might be, they might not be for you. But every time I see any type of, it doesn't matter what's going on. Like, it doesn't matter if the noise out there is negative, positive. That does not affect my success, nor should it affect yours. Okay. You got to believe in you. And this is you against you. Who cares what's going on? People need shelter. I do care. Okay. I'm not saying I don't care. What I'm saying is I can let this affect me, or I can plow through it and ignore the noise, because the noise is going to happen. but I need to sell houses because I need to feed my kids. I need to put them through college, right? You have a lot of whys. Okay. And I want you, if you change your perspective, you will change your life. It will happen. That's just what happens. Putting all your thoughts on the gold mine pipeline, okay? Putting everybody down on the pipeline is going to change how you think about this business. And I'm going to come back to this slide in a moment, but here's a pipeline example of potential volume of 10 million, potential working with buyers only, just buyer sides of 20,800,000, plus what I have currently listed, 5 million, plus the closings I have in the pipeline that are under contract, escrows, 4.2, plus what I've sold already this year makes for a $54 million year if it all happens. Now, I understand the potential listings and the potential buyers. Those are possibilities. We don't even know if they'll ever happen, right? I don't want you to get hung up on if they're going to happen. I want you to put them on the sheet. Everybody goes on this thing because you have to have a full pipeline, okay? You have to. I'm going to come back to this in a moment, all right? That, by the way, this is 2.75 on GCI. Look at these numbers, right? 1.5 million. Now, this is a crazy, drastic example of someone making 7 figures. If this were $350,000 of potential income, would that get you excited? I think it would. I know it would, if you haven't made that yet, right? If it's another 300K, well, then you just went from 300 to 600,000 and you can make that happen. It's all within reach. It is happening every day for people in our coaching program. It will happen for you. All you have to do is know how much money you want to make. And I've divided into 3 categories. What you have to make, which is this is what I need to pay my bills, the condo payment, the car payment, the heavy shopping habit, right? Back in the day when I was a brand new agent, those have changed. What you must make, or I'm not doing real estate, like that's a real thing. Like sometimes I talk to agents, they sell 3 houses a year. I go, why do you have a license? If you tell yourself you're part-time, you have subconsciously created part-time results. Like words matter, what we say. You can be technically doing this and another job. I still want you to act as if you're a full-time agent. When you act like a full-time agent, you'll get full-time agent results. When we say, oh, I'm part-time, I had someone get on the call. She said to me, I'm only doing this part-time. I go, the whole way you're saying that is 0 energy. This is why you're getting 0 results. Okay? So like, frame it differently. What you must make, this is the money you have to make. You're not going below this number. Maybe it's what you made last year and you never want to go below that number again. The great number, that middle goal of income, that's the number you had, before you met me. Okay. So maybe you have on the must, I'm going to put 80,000 down. I don't know the makeup of the people on this call. So maybe it's 80,000 on your must make. For you, it might be 120. I don't know. I'm going to go with 80. Your great is 150 and you're amazing. Sky's the limit. Oh my gosh, I could never see myself making that. That's crazy, Sherri Johnson. Your amazing is 300. Now, some of you are writing down 500 right now. I love you. Write it down. Always, it's a math problem. We just have to figure out how many units you need to sell based on what you make per deal. Maybe we need to raise your average sell price in the process. I don't know. But I need you to be strategic and I need you to say, wow, if I had not so much like I want to do 10 million, I'm more crazy about like, I just wanted to do 10 million. And then I saw how much money I made. 10 million times 3% is what? $300,000 GCI. Okay. Now I paid my broker or whatever. Then I had to pay taxes. But I was able to do that very quickly. So what is holding you back? Put these numbers down and then you're just going to work backwards. It's a bunch of documents we do with you to figure out how you make per deal, divide by, the other number, figure out how many houses you have to sell. When I make 150 grand, I make $10,000 a deal. I need 15 deals. Now 15 deals is 1 a month. Can you do more than that? I'm sure you can. I'm sure you should. What if you just worked smarter, not harder? So these docs are all available on the Academy. They're tracking pieces, they're worksheets, they help, they close the gap of learning. We know that if you list a house in a neighborhood, 2 to 3 more people are going to be thinking about moving in the next 3 to 12 months. I want those signs to have your names on them. They can and they will if you're strategic. But if you're not and you just listed that house and you went on, you're going to see they pop up and you're like, oh, that's weird. No, it was always happening, actually. You just didn't get in front of it fast enough, right, to close them or be in front of them to invite them to your open house. You said, oh, these are nosy neighbors, Sherri Johnson. And I said, no, they're not. They're future listings. But your mindset is one of scarcity, nosy neighbors versus I want the neighbors to come because they're going to give me referrals for this house, or I'm going to list their house in a year or two. Do you need business a year or two from now? Yeah. Do you need business 6 months from now? Yes. Do you need business 3 months? Do you need business next month? Yes, yes, and yes are those answers. What if you sold one more house a month from what you did last year? What if you doubled down for the second half of 2025? You took the challenge, Sherri Johnson challenge, right? I have a course called 90 Days to 100K. I don't care what price range you're in, 90 days to 100K. I want you to re-engineer the way you think. I want you to think, how do I think? How do I process leads? How do I look at people like they're buying and selling? Here's the deal. You only have 2 to 3 people that you're giving your time and attention to. Would you agree? That want to do something right now. And I know this because I study real estate agents for the last 28 years, 29 years. You only have 3 to 5 people and you spend your entire work week on those people, right? And so they may buy. And if let's say you sell 3 people houses, you got 3 sales and you spend the next 4 weeks closing those. And then you wake up and you're gas for air and you're like, oh, I don't have anything and I got to start over. Not fun. Okay. We go through the sales conversion process. I created this years ago to just say, this is the process. Like we convert people into a lead. We convert that lead into a client by adding value. We convert that client into an appointment because we were Sherri Johnsonized that we said, oh, I have to have appointments or I'm not going to have any written contracts ever, right? Written contracts only happen. Sales only happen, right? Appointments make sales happen. There's no other way you're going to make sales happen unless you're face-to-face with somebody. It's a contact sport. So you ever lose a listing, lose a buyer? You didn't follow up with somebody and you said, oh, those people told me they weren't ready, or like, you didn't follow up with them. Bottom line, you just didn't follow up with them and you saw their house in the MLS. Has anyone had this happen? You see the listing in the MLS or you see the sign in the yard. It's actually worse, right? You see the sign in the yard. You're just like, Sherri, thanks for the reminder. Just like, why would you remind me of this? And here's the deal, right? Opportunities aren't lost. They go to someone else. They didn't vanish. They fell through the cracks for sure. But you came up and saw the sign. I went, oh, wow, those people lied to me. They said they weren't ready for a few months. Well, somebody else went in there, got the appointment, got them excited about selling, whatever. We can't take what people say for face value. Sometimes it's multiple conversations. But here's what happens. You don't have a system. You didn't put them on the pipeline because you were like, they're not ready. I don't want to put anybody on the pipeline until they're ready. And so you lost that opportunity. Don't mean to throw the baseball, into the side of you for that. But here's what happens, right? You have a goldmine pipeline system. You will never not follow up with someone ever again. I also want you to look at, do I count people as good leads or bad leads? Every lead is a good lead. Every lead is a good lead. Meaning, whether they buy now or they buy in 11 months, I'll put them on a list and stay in touch with them. I'm not asking you to show them houses for 11 months. I'm saying stay with them because they will buy, they will list eventually. This has been my experience, okay? Again, I sat in my condo and I said, how do I make sure I always have deals closing every single month? So I'm making money every single month. I didn't want this roller coaster scary ride. What we do with Go My Pipeline is take you like this. Instead of this, sell a house, don't sell a house, just like this, up, up, up. Okay. For example, those 3 people, they bought, and now I got to start over. What if those 3 people didn't buy? You had a 0 for listings. I hate to say this, a 0 for sales and a 0 for income for that month. And that just doesn't work. Not when you're trying to make money selling houses, right? Not when you're like, oh, I have these things to pay for, whether it's fill in the blank, basic necessities, house payments. Maybe you are paying for college. Maybe you're not. Maybe you want to build a retirement fund. Maybe you want to put an addition on your house or buy a second home. I don't know what you want to do with this money. Maybe you have a charity. But here's the deal. The roller coaster ride is going to happen unless you have a full backlog of future people. So this strategy, you don't need, I mean, you can download, scan for the ebook. We just put it in the chat. Would you, Liz, put it in the chat again, the fillable form? Here's what happens. When you implement Go My Pipeline, you will have built a backlog of future business. I call it playing the long game, and you will have business every month. People that are 6 months out tend to maybe change their plans. Maybe they go farther out. Maybe they buy or sell sooner. But here's what I know. In 6 months, you need business. What is today? April 23rd, right? 6 months from now is October. Do we all need business in October? Yes. You need listings. You need sales. It's only going to happen if you build this pipeline of business. And what's so great about it is once you put it on paper, it materializes into actual sales. It's like goldmine lifeline. That's what people tell me. Go My Pipeline. It's the pulse of your real estate business. It's actually going to create predictable and consistent monthly income every month, not 1 month, no. The way we do this is we build this pipeline. So I want you to write down your average sell price right now. I'm probably going to be 5 minutes over at least. So if you have an appointment, this is recorded and you'll get a playback of the recording tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah. My team will send it out to you. But if you can stay on, please do, of course. In this PDF version, you're just filling in the blanks and you're putting a value for every single potential listing opportunity or potential buyer opportunity. So think about this. If you have 10, I'm going to go with 400,000 is my average sale price right now. Okay. And let's say you're in the 400, whatever you are, write it down. 10 people at 400K equals a $4 million pipeline, right? Like instantly, I got $4 million in potential listings only. So page 1 on this document is listing sides only. Please do not commingle listings and buyers in the same list. If Lisa and Mike are buying and selling, they go on 2 lists. They go on the listing page as a listing opportunity to list their house for $350, and they go on the buy side to purchase for $600. Does that make sense? You're going to put them on 2 separate, account for them on 2 separate lists. I only want listing leads on page 1. Page 2, all buyer sides, okay? They're selling 2 houses and buying 1. They are entered 3 times. 2 listings, 1 buy side, okay? So 10 people at 400K is 4 million instant. Let's say you have 10, those same 10 leads for listings are going to buy a replacement home from you. I get it, about 25 to 30% move out of state, but let's say 100% are staying in town. Those same 10 are going to buy. My average sale price is still 400. I have 4 million in listing leads. I have 4 million in buyer leads, right, Stacy? 4 and 4 is 8. I have an $8 million pipeline like that. Boom. Like you have $8 million in the pipeline. Haven't even added up what you sold this year so far. Does that make sense? You are now at a $8 million pipeline. Now, can you find 10 people that are going to move in the next 2 years? Yes. If you can't, I'm going to really challenge like why you have a real estate license, okay? Through your social sphere of influence, through social media, through some mailers, through some open, you can find 10 people. Now I want you to take that number to 20. You have 20 buyer sides and 20 listing sides at 400,000. Okay. I have an $8 million pipeline in listings. Who likes the sound of this? I have an $8 million pipeline in buyers. And now I have what? A $16 million pipeline in leads. Okay. What constitutes a lead? They are going to buy or sell, maybe. You don't even have to have their permission nor have a conversation with them. You could go down your past client list, you guys, and circle the names on the past client list or people you've sold a house to in the last 20, 30 years, 5 years, 3 years, and just take their names and put them on the list. Okay. That's you saying, you know what? Bill and Lisa are probably going to move. That house I sold them is too small. They have another kid on the way. Or the kids are all graduated and the house is too big. Or I just talked to so-and-so and they just got a job promotion. Or they lost their job, whatever. Some life thing is happening. I'm at 16 million. Are you guys with me? 20 listing leads at 8 million, 400 average. 20 times 400 is 8 million. 20 same buyer sides. I have 40 potential transactions totaling $16 million. Does this feel a little bit better now? Do you say to yourself, wow, I can be a 10 or $12 million agent? Yes, of course. It's like the Alaskan pipeline. It goes on forever. You are looking at the future. I need business in 2026. I want you to roll into January with $5 million of closings. I would like to do that. Yes, please. Right? You can, and you will, if you implement this system. Okay. You can build a what's a $5 million pipeline when you can have a $15 million pipeline? Those of you in a high price point, I know the drill. Everyone tells me, I make so much money on one deal. I just kind of rest on my laurels. I'm like, okay, well, that's your choice, of course. But let's just say that you, instead of doing 15 deals a year, what if you did 30? Instead of doing 20 million, you did 40 million. I mean, 40 million times 3% is $1.2 million. Did you just do that math with me? So if you are one of those people who's like, I have such a high average sale price, I get it. Even more reason you should be selling 3 houses a month instead of 1, or 4 houses a month instead of 1. I'm the person that's going to challenge you, right? Think about it. What is holding you back? And it's not for the money. I think it's just financial freedom, quite frankly. Page 2, there we go. Page 2 is on the right side. It does say potential listings on page 1. It says potential buyers on page 2. You have to add this up. If you do not add it up, it is simply a list of people. And a list of people is not going to get you excited, is it? The list of people is like what y'all have. You have some Excel spreadsheet you're using, or better yet, a whiteboard. I love whiteboards, by the way. I'm a huge whiteboard fan. I love putting the goals and the dashboard and the game plan on what I look at every day. I have these in my office for my own sales. What can you do with a goldmine pipeline of $16 million? Some of you, it's going to be 20. I just did this exercise with the team the other day, and she got on. I said, what'd you think? And she said, I had way more. I had 3 times what I usually sell. She sells $8 million a year. She had $24 million on the pipeline. I sound like that credit card commercial for what's in your wallet, but like, what is on your pipeline? Okay. What is on your pipeline, guys? This is so fun. And here's what happens. You're going to assign them an A, B, or C status. A is like the next 2 months. B is going to be up to 6 months. And C level is going to be over 6 months. Okay. You just put that assignment in that ranking where the column says rank. Now, I want to caution you because a lot of times we make people a C and then we never call those C's and then we lose them. They list with somebody else or they don't hear from you. So a C person turns into an A person very quickly. Do not miss that opportunity because you labeled them a C 3 months ago. They're not a C anymore, but you don't know that because you haven't called them. So you're saying, Jeff, well, how often do we call these people? Well, Your A people, you're probably talking to every week. A people, by the way, are what's going to close or go under contract rather in the next 2 months. Wouldn't it be nice, Tom Baker, to have a forecast for the next 2 months of what you're going to sell and put under contract? We've never been able to forecast a thing in this business, ever. In fact, when you get your license, you're told, hey, you might want to have money in the bank because it's going to take a while. This does not take a while with me. Why? Because you don't have time. Time is to have it take a while. No, we got to get going. We got to make it happen. So if you knew that over the next 2 months, let's go with May and June, you knew you were going to have 2 listings and 2 sales in May and 2 listings and 2 sales in June. Would that feel better? I think it would. I think you'd all be in a what I call offensive mode instead of a constant crisis defense mode. Like, where's my next deal? I got to get another job. No, you do not. In fact, you can quit that job with Goldmine Pipeline. You're making $52,000. Figure out how many sales you have to replace that 52. And then let's put on a Goldmine Pipeline, please. So easy. But if you don't add this up, it is zero excitement. You have to add it up because when you add it up, amazing things happen. Your eyes get big. You say, oh my gosh, I am a $12 million agent. I can. Now, what you put on here is going to translate into about 85% success. That doesn't mean those people, that other 15% never happens. It just means it may not happen in this year, in this next 12 months. Doesn't have to be from now till December. Although some of you are like, I can actually set some goals between now and the end of this year. Heck yeah. I've seen people use this and double the number of deals they did in the first half, second half. It's that simple. Okay. You have to add it up. If you don't add it up, there's nothing exciting. There's no magic. The adding it up part is the best part. Okay. That is going to make, that's the game changing difference. Do not get hung up on, are they going to buy or sell? Here's the deal. It's all a maybe list. Like, it's an entirely list of potential business. It's not, oh, I know I'm getting this listing. Those people are on here too. If a house is not under contract and it's a listing opportunity that you know you're getting next month, that goes on this page. So you're going to have people on here that you know you're getting, and then you're going to have like a bunch of people that you haven't even seen the house yet. You haven't seen the house. You haven't had a conversation with them. It's a lead. It came in on one of your listings, whatever. You saw them at an open house. In fact, I want you to go back, write this down, go back to the last 4 to 6 months of your open house sheets, pull those names, call them, put them on Goldmine Pipeline, okay? If you have a referral, like this guy, Josh, saw me in town. He's like, hey, my neighbor wants to sell her house. Can you help her? I said, yes, of course. His dogs are with him. I'm with my dog. There's no way I'm getting the neighbor's information right now, okay? I said, I'll text you. Most of us, and I've done it myself, that lead, that opportunity, that referral would fall through the cracks because we forget to follow up with Josh. I want Josh's name on this sheet. Where it says last name, you're going to put Josh's neighbor, Canyon Lakes, $650 for the price. It starts at about 4. It goes to 2 or 3 million. I'm putting in $650. I don't have the address yet. I don't even know the client's name yet. But when I mark my sheet with Josh's neighbor, who am I going to remember to call? Josh. So I could say, hey, Josh, it was great seeing you in town, or text him. What's your neighbor's name? I'll give her a call. Thank you again. So referral people go on here, okay? Doesn't mean, like, you don't have their name. I don't know the actual price. It might be a $2 million house. I don't know. But I put her on as $650 because that was my baseline. I was like, his house is probably $650. Maybe she's on a street with the $1 million people. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. I want to mark it on my list so I don't forget to follow up with Josh so that I don't lose this lead. B people within 6 months, C people within a year or future years. Great question, Amanda. I would say, so A is up to 60 days. And then B is from like over between 60 days and 6 months. So yes, within 6 months. But like if they're 2 months away, I put them in A. So the B people are going to be like between after 2 months and up to 6 months, right? Those 4 months are B. C are within whenever. future, it doesn't matter. C is over 6 months. C people turn into A people very quickly. Okay. Don't forget that. I followed up with an open house lead for 11 months. This is a funny story. I actually would call them and I would say, hey, Sherri Johnson, you know, I'm following up with you, or I didn't say follow up. I said, I'm checking in with you. I sent you some listings of houses. If you'd like to go, I am available this day, this day. Let me know. Hey, I'm following up with you. Hey, Sherri Johnson, right? They never called me back. They ghosted me. Guys, ghosting is part of the process. Trust me, it's part of the process. People are not ready all the time and they have life things happening and they can't answer the phone or they don't want to right now or they're in the middle of something. It's fine. The ghosting is part of the process. These people literally ghosted me for 11 months. I called them twice a month for perspective. I called them and said, hey, Sherri Johnson. Hey, I would even say, let me know if you want me to stop calling you. I'd laugh and then I would say, I'll probably call you anyway. And then I would say, oh my God, I'd say, I don't even know if you're getting this message. Okay. And then here's what would happen. They called me on the 11th month, which weirdly was November. And they said, Sherri Johnson, you're the only person to follow up with us. We know 12 real estate agents. We'd love you to come and list our house. Will you come over? I said, yeah. They go, do you know who we are? I said, yeah, I've been calling you for like 2 years or what felt like 2 years. So we call it. And they said, do you remember us? I said, of course I do. Okay. I went to their house. I listed it. They bought a house. We did the things. 18 months later, they called me and said, we want to go buy another house. We want to move up to 650. So it pays. You know, one of the things they said to me when I went to their house was, we will only choose an agent to sell our house who we know will follow up on every single lead. And apparently you do that because you followed up with us. You stayed in touch with us and you weren't obnoxious. Okay. So when coaches out there, some of the coaches will say, you know, if someone ghosts you the third time, dump them and go find a new person. That's not my strategy at all. That's not it at all. They will ghost you. They're going to. The timing's not right. Don't take it as a hard no. It's just not right now. Okay. I'm going to show you the other couple of pages. Page 3 is going to have listings that are currently on the market. You might have, you know, we have 16 million in potential business, 20 buyer leads, 20 listing leads at an average of 400,000 each, 16 mil. Now, I also have $4 million in current inventory. So now I'm at 20 million. We're going to add this up. Current closings. I have $2 million that are closing, deals that are closing. The total is 2 million. I'm now at 22 million. I've already sold 4 million this year. So all of it combined on the top of the right side of your screen and the second chart, A, B, and C, everything combined, including what you've sold year to date, right, is $26 million. I think I did that right? I was at 22 million and then I said I had 4 million in sales already closed, $26 million. If it all happened, and today was the last day of the year and it all happened. That's how you build a pipeline. Who's excited? Because this should, I hope, is going to literally change the way you do this real estate thing. Because everybody goes on here, turns into a listing, turns into a buyer agreement, an exclusive buyer agreement. I have done this with companies all over the country and the success stories are amazing. Meaning companies hire me to train their managers to do this. I've done this with agents and they've gone from 350 in income to $1 million in 1 year in their own personal income, not GCI, personal agent income. Okay. So agent said, I just want to make 500. Can I do that? I said, yeah. From 350 to 500, that's an increase of 150 grand. Done. Easy. Should end up going on $1 million. I flew out to Scottsdale to visit her and her partner. They each did this. They made $2 million together. They went from 32 million to $84 million because they changed their mindset and they changed their average sale price. You need to do the same. Okay. If you look at the top of that list, the A's, when you separate just the A's, everybody, you're going to see your next 2 months, which is exciting because the A's add up to whatever. And the A's are going to give you a shot in the arm of like, oh my gosh, I'm not going broke. I actually am going to have sales next month. I'm going to have listings next month. I'm even going to have listings and sales in June. I already know it. And by the way, if something comes up with the 4 people that I think are going to happen this month and next month, you have 30 or 40 other people on the back burner to replace them, right? Right now, if those 3 people don't buy or sell, you don't have any of replacements. You have 0. And so life is a lot easier when you have a full pipeline, because you could say, oh, I have other people. This isn't just these 3 people. And if they don't buy, I'm totally screwed, right? So you want to have a full pipeline. Those who have a full pipeline will have consistent business. There's a concept, that I call 3 eggs in a basket. Thank you, Stacy. Look, 3 eggs in a basket, right? If you only have 3 eggs in the basket, 3 deals, and those people don't happen, this is a direct quote from Jane. I said, what's on your pipeline? She said, nothing. I was counting on these 3 things. Should start over. That's not fun, is it? That's horrible. Okay. Now, the unrealized business is Mary came to my office and she said, I have no business. She's all upset and down, depressed. And she said, I have no business and I don't know what to do. And she said, I have 4 buyers. And I said, okay, you have 4 buyers. I said, how many people are you talking to about selling their house? And she said, I have a ton of those. I said, okay, how many is a ton? She said, I have at least 25. I said, you have 25 people who are thinking about selling their house. And she said, I said, are they moving out of state? And she said, no, none of them are. I said, well, add that up for me, you guys. How much? It's 50 transactions. Okay. They're not moving out of state. You're going to sell every single one of these people another house locally. 25 leads to sell their house. They're also going to be buyers. Who's with me? It's 50 transactions. Okay. I said, would you please go fill this form out? Fill it out. Come back. Put the 4 people on here that were the 4 buyers that you told me about, plus the 25 other people you thought you didn't even have. Okay. She came back, you guys. It was $12.5 million of business. To an average $200,000 price point, maybe 230. There were 54 possible transactions on this thing. Now, this woman had done historically $4.5 million a year, every year for probably 8 years. She was a steady $4.5 million agent per year. The year that she had 12.5 million, she closed $8.5 million. Okay, thank you. Okay. Works. It works. You have to do it. But it's easy. My systems, my coaching, all of our tools can help you fill the pipeline, right? Or you can just go start doing lead generation on your own. But when you fill the pipeline, the next thing you have to do is get an appointment with these people. Don't wait. Oh, they're not ready. So what? I go get an appointment this week, right? And I have strategies that add value that people say, yes, I'll come. You can come over right now, right? Because they work. Now, I'm running out of time. So what I'm going to do right now is hit the pause button. Anybody have a question? If you have a question, please either unmute or go into the chat and ask away if you have a question. I am going to give you a couple of things you can take with you. One, Liz, do we still have a 7-day free trial of let me ask Liz. But let's look here on our slide deck. We have a couple things to give you. The first one is I would like you to go into, great. So can you drop that into the chat? So we have a 7-day offer. You can get the Academy, which is the Sherri Johnson Academy. And the Academy is literally all of the courses that I teach and the materials, the downloadable content, all that stuff. Your success will breed more success. In other words, you will double and triple your success because every day you'll be generating more activities for yourself, more appointments. Those appointments will turn into listings. Those listings will turn into sales. The buyers will turn into buyer agreements and so on. And so what I want you to do is realize that, right now you can start this. You can go into Sherri Johnson Academy for 7 days for free. If you click on that link, I'll give you an example of what that looks like. You're going to see me on a screen. You're going to listen to 5 to 8 to 12-minute videos, download the course content, and boom, you're up and running with my micro farming strategies to find listings for buyers in a low inventory market, or to just go generate 3 to 5 more listings in a neighborhood where you just had a sale. Okay. That again is the Sherri Johnson Academy. It's called Playbook. Once the 7 days are up, you can choose between the Academy Access, which is $49 a month, no contract, or the Playbook Plus, which is going to give you one live group coaching call with us once a month. So $99 a month, no contract. You can cancel anytime. There is no contract. Okay. First 7 days are free. And if you are interested too in actually coaching, I'm looking at, as a matter of fact, here's the playbook. So you can look at what it actually gives you. So when you go there, you can either choose the $49 a month for courses only, or the Plus Playbook Plus group coaching is $99 a month. Cancel anytime, and you get access to all of the courses in the Sherri Johnson Academy. It's pretty cool. Okay. Amanda, I'm having an issue growing my pipeline locally. I sent some neighbor cards out, but nothing I said at open house. They were slow because it's at the beach in South Jersey. I have some social media plans building to share. What could I focus on? Any suggestions? So, if you're at a company that provides Sherri Johnson Academy, great. If you're not, and I'm not sure, we'll have to see where you're coming in from, but I think you booked a call already. So here's what I know. You need 3 to 4 lead generation strategies, okay? And that, yes, and yours just got turned off actually. So they do not have the free coaching is now expired. So we'll talk when we have our call, Amanda. You can't, yes, it is, but it's not, it's not you can actually, you can still get it. And, the investment of $99, I believe you can pay for the year and you get 2 months free. And I think the other thing, is that, $900 is a fraction of what a deal will bring you. There are ways to get coaching for free. If you book that call with me, I can share that. If we can put the 20-minute call in the chat as well, Liz. And then my other thing is this: if you want to join coaching, like you just want to be coached by one of our coaches, we do have an offer for 50% off your first month of coaching. And that is going to be available during the call that we have. You can also check it out online. Our programs start at $595 a month and $995 a month. Those are also great. And then I think this was at our beginning of the show today. I do want to share it again because I think it will help you. This is the 20-minute coaching call, and this is available just from today's event. I'd love to chat with you about your business, what's working, what's not working, look at your pipeline, help you launch it, maybe talk to you about other options that you can either join coaching at a budget rate that works for you. Our average agent earns another $150,000 in their first year of coaching, and it really is like a game-changing experience. So if you have not had a coach ever, this is the results you'll get with us. You'll be able to literally see 10 to 12 to 20 more units in your not potential business, but actually closed business. And so people will pay us, $12,000, $18,000 a year, or $6,000 a year to get those results. If you didn't book this call, you can scan that and get on my calendar. Like I said, it books up pretty quickly. Oh, great. I'm glad you did. Anybody else? I'm going to be on for a minute here. If anyone has a question about either coaching or about the goldmine pipeline, the cool thing about the pipeline is you can start the pipeline on your own. And I'm not saying it has to have, coaching, but here's what I know. If you have the coaching and the pipeline, you'll get there faster, and it's like, if you figure out what you make per deal, one sale will pay for coaching, and I've worked with people and our team has worked with people that have gone from selling 12 units to selling 65 units, from selling 9 units to selling 84 units. I mean, the list goes on. So this is not hyperbole. This is not wishful thinking. It's reality. And my goal for you is that you get those results, because that's what it's all about. There is also a way that you can partner with me and get coaching for free. So if that's even of an interest to you, you can learn more about that, because I am invested in your success and would love to help you. So book the call. I hope you learned a lot today. Who has got Goldmine Pipeline ready to go? Because I want you obsessed with the pipeline. And I actually want to share with you, like, that one page that I had up on the screen that had $54 million on it. What's so cool about that, and I'm just gonna throw that up on a screen again, because when you look at your pipeline, you get like this version of the pipeline in coaching, which is to have a spreadsheet that you can look at, right? And here it is. Here's the spreadsheet, the potential business. Whoops. All right, so here it is, potential business. I think I'm in the wrong person's spreadsheet. Hold on a second. And what you're going to have here, right, is an implementation of, here, I'll show you one of our great coaches. So she's got 12.7 million. Do you see that? 12.7 million. Boom. That's total A's. Okay. That's the A's. That is not, that's the one I showed at the beginning of the session. 3.5 in potential list. A's, A only. Okay. Is that exciting? I hope you're excited. This is revolutionizing the way you look at a lead and the way you follow up or have a plan for following up with these leads, which most of us don't have. Okay. Additionally, 54 million was the total for all categories, A, B, and C, not just the A's. Okay. But it looks like this. Here's the potential listings, and we add it up. Here's the potential earnings just in listings. Here's buyers. Here are the buyers. And guess what? It's another 500 grand. Okay. Plus what you've sold all year, plus what you've closed already, and plus what's in pending. So you don't have to start over every month. We take people from $40,000 a year and get them to $15,000 to $20,000 a month. If you like the sound of that, make this happen, because whether you're going, you want to sell a house a week, which I have a class called Sell a House a Week, which is pretty exciting. My last comment is this: 80% of sales are made after 5 contacts. Okay. And what we have a tendency of doing is we give up. And so 80% of sales are made after 5 contacts, but you're not even making 5 contacts. You're making 1 contact. They say they don't respond. They don't write you back. They ghost you, and you move on. So it takes 5 contacts. We have to have a better system for connecting with these people and adding value. So all of what we're going to teach you, all of the things you can get just by coming on Thursdays with me will help you. But this right here, this says it all. Okay. You have to be better at adding value and giving people solutions. And so when you do that, really, really, really great things happen. So I'm going to do this. I'm going off screen. Anybody, you guys are still on. I love you. What can I help you with? By show of hands who have their video still on. Everyone doing the Goldmine Pipeline? Is it in? Are we done? Like, you're still here. So I take it you want to do this. And you don't have to do it, but I'm going to tell you right now, it will change the trajectory of your life. That's what I'm about doing. So book the call with me, get the Gold Mine pipeline rolling. If you want to get it started and then book a call with me, I get it. But like I said, my calendar does book up pretty quickly. I'd love to see you. I'd love to help you. And I can't wait to see you next week on let me double check here. I believe next week on May 1st, we have a catalyst call, and I don't know if we have a topic yet, and maybe Liz, you could tell me if we have a specific topic. You will all get an email for that, and we do have a topic. Hold on, give me 1 second, and she can tell us. Liz, what's the topic for next week? Anybody have a
We
question?
do, yeah. So next week we have, it's 90 days to 100K in income.
90 days to 100K.
Mm-hmm.
You guys gonna be back for that? Yes, I wouldn't see why not, right? Tori Hanberry, my daughter's name is Tori. Love your name. All right, everybody, go have a phenomenal listing and sales week. Do not stop calling until you get an appointment, right? I will until, that's like a little precursor to next week. I will blank until something happens, right? I will make calls until I have X number of listing appointments. Just a little mindset shift for you to how you think. Make it happen, please. Do not just sit back and wait for it to happen. It will never happen. You'll just be sitting there watching other people make sales. Okay. I want you to be the one winning every day. You can and you will implement the Gold Mine pipeline. Let me know how I can help. And we'll see you back next week at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. All right. So I'll see you then. Thank you. Have a great day. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everybody.